In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Tropical Storm Beryl, which is expected to return to being Hurricane Beryl just shortly. It is expected to hit the middle of the coast of Texas, unfortunately, and then we're going to dive into the upcoming pattern as a whole. So, talking about a whole lot today. We're starting off on kind of a good note here, actually. Looking at the satellite imagery from this evening on Saturday, July 6th, at least, and I don't want to say this to say that things won't be bad, but there is some positive looking things. We obviously had this very large area of very tall and intense clouds and storms in there. That is obviously, quite obviously to the naked eye, receded quite a bit here over the last few hours and is looking a lot less intense, thankfully. There is some areas of intensification, especially here on this kind of northwest corner of the storm. Now, overnight, we do expect quite a bit of redevelopment, but to see a lot of these major areas of this storm breaking down here is very good news. There is quite a bit of shear in here, and that probably plays a big time role, so a lot to be positive about here. As we take a look at the cone forecast from the National Hurricane Center, though, as you can see, we do expect this one to regain hurricane status by tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Sunday, and that's going to be July 7th. And it is expected to strike the coast of Texas sometime between 1 a.m. Monday and 1 p.m. Monday. So at some point in the morning there, we do expect this storm, likely as a hurricane, to strike that middle of the Texas coast. Now, it will move up into portions of eastern Texas, drop back down to a tropical depression at some point, of course, becoming a post-tropical depression over Arkansas, and then moving up into the Ohio Valley. Let's take a look at those kind of spaghetti models here for this system, and as you can see, we do expect this one to basically take about the same track that the National Hurricane Center is calling for. Something along these lines is what a majority of these spaghetti models are calling for, so we have some really good agreement there. The intensity guidance is kind of split. We do have a large grouping that bring this to about a strong tropical storm. This black line that I'm drawing right here is your category 1 line. So anything above it right here is a category 1. Anything below it is still tropical storm status. So we can see that there is quite a few models here that keep us below that hurricane line there. There is probably about 50%, I'd say 40 to 50% of these models that do actually show this becoming a category 1 though. So it's a flip of a coin. It's going to be a close call, but definitely could do some re-intensification overnight tonight into tomorrow, as it'll have about a full 36 hours over water still before striking that coast of Texas. Now, as promised, let's just dive into the upcoming pattern. We are using a little bit of a different color code here. This is just your typical precipitation map. So typically we do the precipitation type map, and that's where you see a lot of the greens, and it's just darker or lighter green. But since we don't expect any snowfall for multiple months or any ice or anything of that nature, we're able to use this one, which is not precipitation typed, but we all know it's all rain. So let me know if you guys prefer this color or the color that you're used to seeing on this channel, and we'll appreciate that feedback and definitely use it for sure. I think it's a little bit easier to tell where the heavier stuff is at on this one. Obviously a little bit lighter here across these grays and greens here. A little bit heavier here in the reds across that tropical storm Beryl, so a little more obvious. As we move towards tomorrow on Sunday, July 7th, here we see Beryl is getting closer and closer to that Texas coast. We do have some stronger thunderstorms across the Midwest and plains here, as well as the Southeast, to go alongside tropical storm Beryl moving in. For the afternoon of Monday on July 8th, two days from now, we see that tropical storm Beryl, or even hurricane Beryl, is still quite strong, 988 here over eastern Texas, so definitely a little bit of a stronger system in there, still able to retain a lot more of that intensity, and overall this leads towards a lot of activity from the deeper south central and southeastern states there, with some activity across the northern plains, upper Midwest, and Great Lakes here. Let's keep going. I want to take us towards Tuesday here. On July 9th, and what we see is that there is plenty of activity here in the east. We see from eastern Canada down through the Midwest and Great Lakes, the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, the kind of deeper south here, and even down into the Southeast. We're seeing chances of showers and thunderstorms across all of these different regions and states here. Let's keep going towards Wednesday, and this is when things start to really get moving. We see that Beryl is now located somewhere between Illinois and Indiana there, as a pretty strong system still. Probably pretty windy, probably some flooding rain threat there, but mostly thunderstorm and shower activity across the upper Midwest, Northern Plains, Ohio Valley, and Great Lakes there. Even for the Gulf and East Coasts here, you can see that there's numerous thunderstorms all around those coasts, as there oftentimes is this time of year. Thursday here on July 11th, we're seeing across the Gulf Coast, the East Coast here, lots and lots of activity. The Midwest and Great Lakes here, we are seeing, again, thunderstorms really prevailing here. As we keep going towards Friday, July 12th, we see that the East Coast takes kind of the center stage here with a lot of that thunderstorm activity around for these areas. Obviously, waters are really warm, so we will be watching the tropics off the southeast here and off the west coast of Florida, as well as there's pockets of energy. The water is certainly very warm in these areas, and you never know when something's just going to pop off in there. So we will be watching that very closely towards the end of next week. Saturday here on July 13th, a week from today, we see kind of similar areas. The southeast up the mid-Atlantic coast there is where a majority of that activity is at by this point. As we reach towards Sunday here on July 14th, we see that the southeast is still the main area of concern here. And finally, for Monday here on July 15th, I said and finally, but we will have actually Tuesday to look at as well here. We see that for the Northern Plains and Great Lakes, we see some activity, as well as the southeast by this point are the two primary areas to watch. Tuesday, the 16th, a lot of the same here. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe as we do upload every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.